Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to sit down, we're going to look at the difference between mandrel bends and formed bends for stainless steel and show you which one might work better for your next project and show you how to weld them as well. All right guys, so if you're working on a stainless steel project and you're getting ready to order material, there's a couple things to consider. So this is going to be a mandrel bend, pretty standard mandrel bend you're going to see from a lot of the big distributors. This one might be a Vibrant. I'm actually not even sure what brand it is, to be honest. But they're all pretty similar. So a mandrel bend is straight tube that they put in a mandrel bender, right? And they pull it through, okay? And it's not a crush bend like you'd see in an exhaust shop. It is a mandrel bend, so it does maintain, for the most part, 3 inch throughout the bend. But you will see that there is some pulling and dragging on the inside of the bend. And it's not really a problem, but when you do a lot of fixture work, like let's say you need to cut down the center radius of the bend and then you need to flip and rotate this to go a different direction, you will have, they won't match up exactly, right? You're gonna have an issue, I mean not an issue, but the weld joint's not gonna be as good. Now, contrary to that, a formed bend, which is more like a sanitary grade bend, which is what I use most of the time, is actually formed, right? So it's not actually pulled through a mandrel bender. Therefore, you can cut down the centerline radius of the bend, you can rotate it wherever you want, and it's gonna maintain whatever size it is. This is a 2.5 inch bend. It's gonna maintain that size throughout the bend, right? So any direction you wanna cut it and rotate it, it's gonna weld up and you're gonna have a really good clean weld joint. So I'm gonna cut both of these down the center, or maybe this one, because this one's actually used. I don't have a use for it, but I'm gonna cut one formed bend, one mandrel bend down the center, and we'll kind of take a look at what I'm talking about. All right, for anyone that has one of these in the shop, you know this is probably the most dangerous tool around. I don't know who put that sticker on there, but it kind of says it all. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down the middle, and we'll take a look at them. Quick tip, if you do have a vertical, always get all the shavings off here so that when you slide your material through, you don't just scratch up all your stainless you're working with. All right, the material's all prepped, so let's take a look. So this is gonna be your formed bend, right? So this was a 45, so that is the angle that it started, pretty much. Now you can take this bend, and you can work it at any angle all the way around, right? And you're gonna have a nice, smooth weld joint, no matter where you put it. The whole thing is gonna be 2.5 inch all the way through the bend. Now, with the mandrel bends, I mean, they're still workable, right? But you're gonna see that you're gonna have a gap typically on a few sides. And it's not gonna be the end of the world. I mean, you're gonna be able to weld it, right? But it is gonna create a little bit more work. If you're doing fixture work like product work, I'd say it's a little bit more important. If you're building a custom exhaust on a car or something like that, I don't think it's as important, but and you can also, there's expanders out there that you can buy. You can kind of swedge the bend back up, kind of make it round. But as far as just off the shelf, if you're just looking to cut, you're looking to fabricate, I do prefer working with the form bends. I've been working with them for a long time. So I'll go ahead and weld these up. I'd say with this, I'll weld it with either 0.35 or even 16th inch. If I weld it with 16th, I can put a little bit more filler in there and kind of even it out and make it look a little bit better. With the form bends, I'll easily be able to weld it with 0.35 or 0.45 and really have a smooth joint. So we'll go ahead and weld these up. You can see the gap. Definitely makes it a little bit tougher to tack. Not a big deal, but just something to be aware of. Do a little back purging. I seem to only have one 2.5 inch perch plug right now, so the old aluminum foil is gonna have to work. I'm just kind of holding it while I weld it today. I normally would put it in a little vise, but pretty hot. Oop, gotta turn the back bridge off. Okay. So that's 0.35 filler. You get a really uniform looking weld. I think for the sake of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and weld the mandrel bend with 0.35 just to show the difference. If I was doing this for a project, I'd probably weld it with 16th. 8th would be a little thick, but 16th would be good. It would fill it in a little bit. I could kind of fudge it. Okay, so we have the mandrel done now. So turned out good, actually. Took a little bit more work. You can see there's slight undercutting right there, mostly on the sides, right, where you can kind of see it's a little bit higher right there, but it's not horrible. I could live with it, you know, on an exhaust project under the car or something like that. Wouldn't bother me at all. If you had to build some stainless intercooler pipes or you were doing something in an engine bay, I'd be a little bit more picky if I'm being honest. But two things I forgot to talk about earlier. One is using mandrel bends. The one nice thing is they usually have pretty long legs, right? So if you're building an exhaust system and you want to have less welds, because anytime you're using short radius type stuff, right, you're going to have basically, you know, a weld after each joint going to each piece of straight. So if you have some small sections, the mandrels do work really good for that. I'd say overall the weld quality is a little bit better on here. The one other thing that I don't necessarily like about the mandrels as much is they typically do not come polished. And you can get formed bends, sanitary bends, all polished obviously. So depending on the aesthetic you're looking for, if you're gonna sit and have to Scotch-Brite all your mandrels to get what you want, it makes for a lot more work. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. I hope that shed some light on the difference between the bends and what you might use them for. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down in the comment section below. We also have a couple links down in the description. Anything that's purchased there helps support the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.